We're going to kick this quarter off with an Old Boylan. Coach, you've had a couple wins in this gym yourself. Coach Steve Goers, how you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. I've never been ahead. I mean, I think I coached almost 1,200 games.
Okay.
I've never been ahead 30-0. and even better than that, I was never behind 30-0. When you're going for a big win like Paul is going to get tonight, and you can just sit there and relax.
How
and
nice
enjoy
is
the
that?
moment. You don't have to worry about the stress but it's great. So very, very happy for Paul.
When'd you first get to know Paul Perrone?
I think it was it was right after World War I. And I dodged a draft, so I didn't have to.
Smart move.
Yeah, I didn't have to go over there, and so. But no, I can't remember exactly when I did.
He was just always an entity. There was always Paul Perrone, right?
He was. Yeah, I mean, I met him. I knew his beautiful, wonderful late wife Phyllis, and their three beautiful daughters, and they all went to Boylan. The girls all went to Boylan when I taught here, and I met Phyllis and Paul, those two of the girls too. But I knew Paul was over there coaching at Harlem girls, and we talked a few times, but I couldn't tell you the exact time in the 80s when I first met Paul. But it was, I've always felt that one thing about Paul is he is a person that is not in it for himself. He's in it for everyone around him. And, the girls he coaches, the students he taught, and his, certainly the Poor Clares and certainly Red Ribbon, and he was always reaching out to try to do something for somebody. If there's somebody in need, and you want somebody to be there, it would certainly be Paul Perrone. So basketball aside, this is just part of his puzzle, and he's got a great puzzle. He's putting another piece in right now.
Put another piece up 34-0 now here in the second quarter. I don't think Paul was concerned about this game. I don't think he was 34-0 concerned about this game. These girls really stepping up for their coach here tonight, and
especially now their point guard's out for the year.
Yeah,
senior point guard
Avery Markham got injured again, and she's gone for the year. So.
She was a good sound leader, strong girl, quick, senior, and now they're going, relying on some younger girls to get them through. When is their rematch with Hononegah?
Tuesday night at Hononegah, and then he has Auburn tomorrow, or Saturday afternoon at 3:00. That's a rescheduled from a COVID incident that happened earlier in the season.
Is that Auburn here? Or
that is at Auburn.
Two tough ones in a row.
And then Belvedere North, who took Hononegah into overtime last Friday. So, he's got a three-game stretch.
Coach Goers, Dave was telling me you're sitting one career win shy of moving into second place all time in state. Is that correct?
Or are you number two? Some of those stats.
I was going to say.
I don't know.
I was saying if you're one shy, did you talk to Paul and see if you can just get listed as assistant coach for this game?
No.
And get credit for it?
No. When I retired, this is not about me. This is about Paul. But you asked the question. When I retired, we had accumulated 881 high school victories as a varsity coach, and I was first place. And then I was like 6 or 7 or 8 games ahead of Gene Pingatore at St. Joe's. And Gene, who was 5 or 6 years older than me, kept on coaching, and he actually died when he was 83, and he coached like about 5 or 6 years after no more than that. Actually, about 8 years after I retired, he coached, because he ended up with like 1,011 victories at the time. And now Neil Alexander is the one I think you're talking about. Neil Alexander is coaching at Lincoln. And he coached guys like Norman Cook that went to Kansas and some other great players.
Wow.
And he is I think he supposedly passed me up, but he's coached for 45 years or something like that. And I'm, like I said, I was head coach for 39 years. I was an assistant coach at Crete Mooney for a year. I was an assistant coach for 3 years down at Quincy under Cheryl Hanks. And that is where I got my education by being a coach. Cheryl Hanks is a Hall of Fame coach. He was a Hall of Fame coach. He's an ex-Marine. He won 20 games for 21 years in a row.
Wow.
Down at Quincy, which is a hotbed for basketball. And he was my mentor. And that's where I got a great education. And meanwhile, East has broken through and they have 5 points. It's 36-5. With 3:47 to go in the second.
Take my job away.
Wow, yeah, you're really just covering everything. All right there. Coach Goers, you had long stretches here. You know, Paul had a long stretch at Harlem, long stretch here. Donnie Trasmer, long stretch at Harlem, long stretch at Freeport, other places. What do you guys all have in common that allows you to stay at one place for so long?
You know, that's a great question. I usually have found that you're a great coach if your administration's even better, or if your faculty is even better, and if you do have some type of talent, because you only could do what you're allowed to do within a program, and here I had such great leaders. I had Father John Mitchell, later became Monsignor, and was pastor at St. Bridget's, and I loved him. He was the one that hired. I mean, when I was interviewed here, there was only 2 people in the room, and it was Father Mitchell at the time and Vince McGuire, who was the assistant principal. The only 2 people talked to me, except Ben Murray, who was running out the door to make millions of insurance, who was a great football coach here. He said hello, goodbye as he was walking out the door. Okay, and I met Augie Rizzo, who, and he said hello, and he was becoming the AD in my first year that I got there, and Bill Thumb became the head football coach the first year I was in. So, but anyways, they hired me, and I went through Father Mitchell. I went through Sister Anthony, who God bless her too. What a wonderful, beautiful woman she was, and a sister that was a great leader at Boylan. And then we had Vince for a while. We had Jerry Kerrigan, and when I left, so when I was leaving, so. Father Pinsky. Yeah, Father Pinsky. By the time I left, Father Pinsky was here when I left. So we were blessed, all of us coaches, with idea that we could go to them for help. We had strong athletic directors. We had Augie Rizzo and Jerry Kerrigan, and Paul Heitkamp is still here. We could go to them, and we could argue with them, and we could schedule. I mean, I did all the scheduling outside the conference. I'm the one. I went and scheduled everybody. I mean, I negotiated contracts and everything to bring teams in here, and the Holman Flossmoors, the Simeons, the Kings, things like that. And that's what we did. We told our kids, if we can be the best, we're going to play the best. And the only way they would do it. It's 36-5 with 2:01 to play.
And Joe and I are going to get a hot dog.
I was waiting for the breath to come.
And somebody has to tell me, you guys educate me on this.
Sure.
This lotto rule doesn't start with 30-point leaders. They have to wait till the second half.
Second half. So 36-5.
Yeah.
Yes, the running clock rule is in play for later in this game. I grew up, coaching in my family. I know when my dad was young, first coming up, he would coach literally anything, not only for the paycheck, but just for to get the experience. He coached track, and he was coaching shot put without ever I think touching a shot put before in his life. Coach, did you and Dave, maybe did Paul? Did you guys coach anything outside of basketball?
No, Paul's only
just basketball.
Yeah, Paul is in a record book at Boylan. He played for Vince McGuire, and Paul got
37 points. 37, we were talking about that a little bit earlier.
Points against
Phil Mark Latzer.
Since Woodstock Marion or something.
I can't remember who the team was because I'm old.
Okay, here's the question for you: Who has the most points in any single game in the history of Boylan?
Oh, I will fail that miserably.
Was it Mark Latzer?
Heck no.
Oh,
Not even close.
Danny Jones?
Nope.
Lee
Lampley had 50.
Lee Lampley.
Oh, Lee Lampley.
But he's not.
It's not Lee Lampley.
Lee Lampley had 50 twice. Jack Cooper had 50, I think, once. Joe Tully had 54 against East, and I pulled them with 4 minutes to go in the game because we're beating them by 25 or 30. You know, and there was no reason for somebody to take a cheap shot at a guy that's he wasn't playing right. So me at 54, and I guess I could help him for 60, but we didn't.
And I remember the game that the Chicago King here with Sonny Cox. What a game that was!
It was tremendous. It was a tribute to all our fans that came out and it was It was actually a triple header. So that's what a lot of people don't remember. It's a triple header. The first game was Lutheran against, I think, Marengo. Mm-hmm. And then the next game was East St. Louis Lincoln against St. Joe's. And then we were against King. And King was number 2 in the nation. By USA Today. And a lot of people say, and he was, Sonny was saying, we got his headline in the paper in the Tribune. He got jobbed. The only problem is the 3 officials that worked the game, Sonny never saw before. But the ironic twist, the coach on the other side of the other bench, I never saw those guys before either. They came from Edwardsville in Collinsville or something like that because the whole program was put together by some guy from Southern Illinois.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't. That one is, and he asked us, could we host something up here and get King out of it because we were both highly ranked that year. So consequently, yeah, we'll do it. They knew we were going to be good that year because we were good the previous year. So that was one that was organized by somebody else. The officials were not hired by Boylan at all, and he said he got jobbed. Okay.
I actually have the tape of that game, but I think it's over the years is distorted because it was on a cassette tape.
Oh. I got a few DVDs of that.
Oh, you do?
Once in a while I get people come and ask me for it.
Coach, you coached a couple games in this gym. What's the loudest you've ever heard it?
Well, the 27-1 year where we got beat by East in the sectionals, that gym was loud when we played them here and we beat them here. And that was really loud. And the King game was extremely loud. And there was a few others, but those probably stick out in my mind as far as, people that would probably remember. There was a Homer Flossmer game here where Martez Hawkins, Homer Flossmer had beat us the year before, and they were beating us by 2 or something at the end of the game. And Martez crossed the half-court line right where the volleyball or the straight line is there and took the shot from 30 feet and net. We won the game, walked off.
Wow.
Then there was a Provisor East game. We played them on 93, I think, when our son Tim was at point guard for us, and Lee was a junior then. That we were down. We were down, and and they had the ball, and we were about ready to foul them. And the kid dribbled the ball off his foot or something, a double dribbled on his leg. He dribbled the ball on his leg. And that was a loud placement. I won that. That's 42-7.
42-7.
It's halftime.
We'll see if Paul can hold on to this lead in the second half.
We will. It's been a joy visiting with you guys, and thank you very much for the coverage for Paul Perrone, who certainly deserves all the recognition in the world for his great career and what he has given to the girls, not only here at Boylan for 15 years has he been doing that?
13 years.
13 years, and he was at Harlem how many years?
91 till 20-some, huh?
2014, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was my assistant coach here at Boylan. So, before the girls' position opened up. So I enjoyed having him on the staff too.
Awesome.
So it's been a great relationship, and I hope the relationship will last for years to come.
Can't wait. Steve, thanks for joining us. Nice meeting you.
Thank you very much.
Coach, as always, it's been a pleasure.
Boylan,
thank you for what you did.
Boylan leads this one 42-7.